So good morning everyone, my name is Felipe Pereira. I'm going to talk about the history and evolution of cinema. And I bet that many of you, as like me, is an admirer of the cinema. But like me, I don't know how it was created and how it evolved until the cinema that we have today. So I'm going to talk about the evolution. Well, since the beginning of the human being, people are curious about the movement of images and effects. So in the very beginning of the human, the first people start to draw some facts of the day in the wall, like have here. And it shows like some movement of the actions. And some years later, about 7,000 years ago, the Chinese started with the kind of game of shadow. They take some models and start to play with these models, with the shadow and the models. But the curiosity about the movement and the pictures and images didn't stop it. With the years, many people worked with the study of light, study of shadow, and how was the process. One of them is Leonardo da Vinci, which with a study of light, shadow, pictures and actions, he discovered the dark room, which is basically like a box, a closed box with some image, like you have here the lamp, with a light that pass the image inverted in the other side, like you have here. It was important discovery for the cinema that we know today. And with the years, other people studied this phenomenon, and they start to study the phenomenon of the retinal persistence, which is basically the capacity of your eyes memorize, send a message for your brain, and memorize the pictures. Like you have here, we have the skate and the bird. If we flap it, don't know the name, twist the part, you can see both images together. So it's the capacity of your eyes memorize both images, and our brain can memorize an average of 10 images per second. So, and these guys started to work with another apparatus like the phonetoscope, paroxysmoscope, and the kinetoscope that we have here. Thomas Edison was one of the most important that made the closest machine for cinema that we have today, which is this one. But the person had to, it's like a big box, and the person had to look inside the box to see some movement. And in 1845, Thomas Edison did the Vitascope, which for some people is the first movie of the history of the cinema. But we have some other opinions. But these two guys are considered the father of the cinema. They are the brothers Lumiere. They are French guys, and they made the cinematograph, which is a machine that is the closest thing that we have with the machine for cinema today. And in 1895, they made the first exhibition of cinema in Paris, where many people of different parts of the country come to Paris to see just a few minutes of movie. Now that you know how cinema was the very beginning of the cinema, I'm going to talk about the important bit for this evolution. We have here Charles Chaplin, which is a genius for the cinema. He made the first comic movie in 1914. He was like a multifunctional person because he was like the director, the actor, the editor of the movie. He made the soundtracks. He made like everything in the movie. He chose the cast. He was a genius. And in the audio of his career, he made like one movie per week. So he's very important for the cinema. This other guy is Walt Disney. I think everyone knows. The first, how can I say? Okay, the first movie, animation movie, was the Snow White, and Snow White was won many awards like the Oscars. Walt Disney was the guy that most received Oscars in the story of the Oscar. He received 22, and he was indicted for 59 Oscar awards. Close that we have today, we have George Lucas, which is the director of Star Wars. I think everyone knows Star Wars. In 1977, he created like a Seraph movie, and this movie, it's very important for the cinema for the special effects and some technology that no one ever seen about before. Then we have Steven Spielberg in 1982 with the movie E.T., which was the champion of all box office records in the whole world. He attracted many spectators with this movie, and to innovate with the technology and special effects. And close to that, more recently, we have James Cameron in 2009 with the Avatar. He worked in 10 years to make this movie, and it was also a success in the box office records. And all that guys and other directors made the history of the cinema, and more close to what we have today. In conclusion, I think it's important to know like all this process, because we always see all these movies in the cinema, but most of the time we don't know how was the start, how it works, and cinema used to develop an important aspect in the life of society, because it can inform, entertain, and maybe change a life for society. Thank you, everyone.